Okay, let's go again on the 15-minute. Bit of a delay again. Okay, let's see. The other top player in action at the moment. PeterProhaszka. Who's PeterProhaszka? It's actually who it says he is. PeterProhaszka. Hungary 19, he's 2547. Blimey. 2547. Let's have a look at this game. So he's playing Yardbird, good old Yardbird. Wow. What's going on here? How did this opening arise? Is Yardbird being provocative? Peace sack. Ooh. What's going on here? Is it Queen H4 being dangerous? Bishop G4, Queen H4? There's Knight E4. Is that sound? Isn't that Knight E4? Okay, Jakuba. Let's just close that other game down. Okay, 27. Jakuba27. Stay with the ratings. Another perk. We have 2 perks in a row. Austrian attack again. Okay. It seems to be good last time. Whoa! That looks. Oh, like asking for it on the light squares. H6. What is H6 about? Or E5, E6 potentially. It's a bit provocative. Deliberately, so he's blocking his lights. Creative play. What is going on here? Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. No. If I just castle and just see how black develops the pieces. Maybe play for F5 at some point. Actually, this recording area is a bit out. I'll just go up a bit there. See a bit more of the recording area. Okay, so Queen E1 or E5 straight off the bat. Maybe E5 is okay here. I don't think black's got a fair share of the centre. There's pawn wedge. So Knight E4 is good now, potentially. Pawn wedge. F5 is potentially useful, as long as D4 doesn't drop. So Knight E4 is potentially dangerous. We can support the pawn with C3 if needed. If there's a Knight F5, it's going to be an issue. So Knight D5, Knight E4, Knight F5, maybe C3. We can win the exchange with Bishop E3. Okay, what about Knight takes D5? That's just emphasising his knight's control of D5. Queen E1, just allow the double pawns, maybe that's best. And still go to G3. If Knight F5 then maybe Knight takes D5. Whoa! He's taking the mickey, this guy. I think I'll just go in here and play C3 now. I think this calls for playing the position precision. Strategic rush versus playing the position. Here I think it looks as though there's a big development advantage. It might be worth spending a minute or two, or longer even, to find accurate moves. But Knight E4 looks good off the bat because it looks like using that E4 square. C4, Knight B4. There might be C5 there if I want to get Knight D6 in. So that's the kind of counterintuitive stuff, but Is it worth it? It does give up the d5 square, so let's say queen d5, and then maybe knight d6 is not that relevant, you can just take in bishop d7. This knight looks a bit vulnerable. c3 might just be the stable move here, and then queen e1 to g3 as the follow-up. I think I prefer that, to stabilise the centre, then go on the attack here. Queen e1 to g3 looks like a nice thing to do. This bishop could be just one strategic kind of emphasis. Bad bishop. So queen g3 after casting will be threatening things. Let's say f5. Or after castling is bishop h6 takes queen g3. King moves to h8 and then there's nothing. So queen g3 f5. It's bishop h6. He's going to use the there's knight d6 now on the card with rook f7, so knight takes, bishop takes, knight d6, unless he wants to sack his queen. Then there's knight takes f7, if king e7 there's rook f7 mate. So I think I'll go for that. Bishop takes g5, decoy. Bishop g5, knight d6, king d7, there's rook f7. If knight e7, I can take on g5. Bishop e3 check, queen e3, knight e3, knight takes d8, discovered check. So I think bishop takes g5, bishop takes g5, and knight d6 looks attractive. King f8, knight takes f7. Threatening discovered checks, bishop e3 takes, knight takes, he's got knight takes e1. Is there anything just safer here? Or should I just go for that anyway? Maybe just queen g3 is sounder. What does he do about that? Say f6. Queen g3 looks a safer option. Let's calculate this again. Bishop g5, knight d6, king f8, crawls out, knight f7, bishop e3 check. And there's king h there. And if there's no queen h4, there's knight takes h8 is check. Let's go for that. So the king h1 there. So knight takes f7, bishop e3, king h1. With queen h4, there's knight takes check from the rook on f1. So this knight takes f7 I'm relying on. Forks queen and rook. Let's check. There's bishop e7. I've just messed this up. I forgot about bishop e7. Whoops. Also, this bishop's not hanging anyway. So knight e7 is possible. Oh dear. What about queen g3 there? There's pressure anyway. Queen g3. That's a shame. So queen g3. Just to try and play queen g7. I can double up rooks. He's a bit tied up here anyway. So bishop h4, queen g7. Queen h7 there. He's tied up. I mean, rook and bishop. Clearly worse. Worth a piece. Clearly. This huge knight on d6. Two pawns for bishop. But it could be 3 pawns soon. Still a horrendous pin on e7. Okay. I might just keep the rooks doubled and play for c4 and d5. Stop this rook f8 business. So c4, d5 to try and break open position. That does weaken the centre a bit. If I've been overly provoked here, piece down. But c4, queen b6. Oh, okay. Queen h4 is bishop e3 check. I think c4 is tempting here. That pin to exploit. Can't really exploit it here. No knight e8, no knight b5. So what about, I think c4 keeps a lot of pressure on. Still, this bishop's like a target. This diagonal could be useful if he goes to b8. So something like, if I get my king on h1 just to avoid these checks anyway. King h1 could be handy. Queen b6, c5, queen b2. Well, this knight's will be hanging there anyway, so king h1 just to avoid some sort of tactics, I think. And maybe d5 soon. Queen f3 d5, or actually queen h4 is now maybe on the cards, but he's got knight f5. Bishop takes f5, queen takes, bishop e6. I get mated before this does anything. Queen f3 followed by d5. Just d5, cd, cd, knight d5. How about bishop e4, so I can take and then play e6. So bishop e4 followed by d5. That might be a way of opening up the position here. Bishop e8 is rook f8, I think. Nasty pin on e8. Whoa! That doesn't look like a great move either, but what's the refutation? If rook d7, queen d7, rook f7 is knight e7. Mind you, there's queen h4 there. Rook e8 would fell. So rook f7, queen d7, rook f7, knight e7. The other rook's prepared to go to e8. So what about just d5 then? I think d5. Just trying to open up this diagonal here. Possession of f-file. King. Is it safe on c7 right now? It probably is. So probably need some tactical slip up here, but d takes is a big threat. King b8, rook d7, queen d7, d takes doesn't do anything. What about just bishop e4, just piling on the pressure on c6? Actually, then there's queen b3 as well as a possibility. Queen going over here, and that's pretty nifty. To visit b7 from b3. So bishop e4 looks like a move. Queen b6 won't be with check after the king moves. Is queen g5 here? No, I just take and then d takes. This d5 was good, keeps the pressure. Oh, okay. Do I take? We'll take on e6. If I take on e6, that might actually be better. Threatening to win the queen with rook d7. Where's the knight moving? Oh, taking on e6 while I can. Not the obvious recapture, but one which puts two pieces on pre. Oh, actually there's knight takes f7. Whoops. Okay. Am I going to get more material back than I lose here? If I get rook takes d7 in, if I get takes, I get two pass pawns in the centre. But I'm now like a rook down. I'm tempted just to take and then take on d7 for e6. Okay, I'm a rook down. That's unfortunate. I could end up losing this, but it was fun while it lasted. As rook f8 would extinguish. As rook takes d7 check. Queen f2. Keep the rooks disconnected. I think rook takes d7, queen f2, there's queen c1, there's bishop f1. Okay, let's go for that instead. Because otherwise rook f8 look pretty good. So queen f2 looks protected by the pawn on e6. So king c8, queen f2. There's no rook f8 there. Bishop c1, bishop f1. Mind you, could go to b6 here because there's queen e3s. I've got 3 pawns for a rook. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4. So queen f2, that's the question. Can I get away with queen f2? I could go for 4 pawns. If I play takes, bishop takes, that's 4 pawns and the rook's kept away from the game still. And there's still maybe bishop f5 and e7 there. 4 pawns for a rook. That looks good. Takes, bishop f4, bishop f5, take on e5, there's e7 check. I think I'll go 4 pawns for the rook. So bishop f5 looks good here. With the rook's disconnected, that's much more pleasing than the other one. So bishop f5, okay. Does it matter about h2? I've got big threat now of e7 check. Maybe I'll start playing these pawns with h3. E7 just ignored. Okay. So h3. Actually, my rook's attacked as well. Whoops. So e7 check here. Actually, isn't that another discovered check with the rook getting the queen? Oh, that's nearly fatal to play h3. But e7 actually looks as though it could be winning because there's a discovered check with the queen. King c7, there's e8 queening. h3. No. Okay, so e8 and I can queen with check. Bishop g7, queen e7. Okay, queen. And it's check. So bishop g7, queen e7 looks as though, or queen takes e5 here, looks all over, clearly. A bit lucky there, I was about to blunder. So queen c7, I think, well, let's not have a mouse slip here, that would be pretty sad. or a back row mate, that would be even sadder with rook e1. So just h3 just to avoid a back row mate embarrassment. So that attack went all wrong from bishop g5, but it looked fun anyway. So just being a bishop down, but then a bit of luck after. One is thinking, let's just go back into that mess. So it seemed very provocative play. So yeah, maybe I came a bit over optimistic about this idea here. It did stop him casting anyway. But what is the situation here? I've just basically sacked a bishop for what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 3, 4, 5. Bishop for 2 pawns. It's not much. Queen g3, there's a bit of pressure going on. There's domination of the f file. There's potential for d5 now. This bishop's still bad. This knight's still big. I played rook e2 finally. Okay. Okay, why is he playing on here? Let's play rook g5 or something. Just expose the king. Interesting. It's bishop d7 check if I want to win the rook, or bishop d3 if I want to win the other. Okay, he's resigned here. So let's go back. So this is just, was this really unsound? Knight g5, I played bishop g5 for this, knight d6. So it seemed attractive. Rook on the 7th, nasty pin on e7. But there was a miscalculation. There was clearly a miscalculation here, as I was going to win a piece back or something, but it was just still basically a strong position. Then another miscalculation here. Whoops! After d takes for knight takes f7, leaving me a whole rook down. But here, okay, he could have actually played king b6 because queen f2 is queen e3. The rook's now disconnected. I think this is nicer now. 4 pawns for the rook with this huge threat of e7 check. Comments or questions on YouTube. Bit of luck there. Thanks so much.